will come to the last segment of the video, which is very important again, because I don't make transit videos, and I
Right.
get tons of requests to make transit videos, but I don't do that.
Right.
I don't have the capacity to make transit videos because it is time consuming to go on every zodiac sign and everything, as I have other things to do. But I'm always interested, other than the moon, other than the sun nakshatra, I'm always keeping a very good eye what Rahu and Ketu is doing.
Right.
So I really
Well,
wanted to take your intake, because right now Rahu is in Ardra, Ketu is in
right.
P.Ashada, along with Saturn.
Right.
So
Well,
what
yeah.
are the things one can expect when Rahu is transiting Aradra? Because the amount of emails I'm getting, the amount of people coming to me as it is transiting, if someone is having, I'll give you an example, if someone is having moon in Aradra and Aradra is transiting, gocharing over the moon, so tons of emails I'm getting. Some people are getting panicked that what Rahu in Aradra gonna do to us. Opposite is to malefic sitting, even though Jupiter gonna join them very soon. So how you see it, what to expect in the next 1 year, because Ketu gonna come into Mula as well after February, I guess. So what is your take, sir?
Well, so first of all, we have to understand that no matter what transits you're going through, certain Mahadashas are going to be very important.
Yes.
If you are using, if you are running Rahu Dasha, Rahu transit will be an important Dasha.
Right.
Rahu transit will be important.
Right.
If you are running Ketu Dasha, again Ketu transit will be very important as well.
Right.
In fact, I would even say that with Rahu and Ardra, it's a great time to worship Shiva. Great time to 100% yogis are waiting for this kind of time.
Wow.
Like you won't get this Rahu kind of time to actually align with the actual great time to do this thing is when Ketu is over Mulatara of Mula Nakshatra.
Yes.
So that's when the Rahu Ketu plane will exactly be aligned with that Milky Way galaxy plane. And that's a great time when to fulfill all kinds of wishes. You can actually do the real sadhana. In fact, if Rahu and Ardra is a great time to remove all the poison that you have been holding on to. Because Ardra is like the poison, and it can, of course, manifest as certain difficult karmas for some people, for sure.
Right.
If you have those planets there and all that, of course, if you have Sun and Moon in either Gemini or Sagittarius, it will be intense. There's no way it won't be.
Yes.
But it's natural. You have to remember that all the karmas that is coming your way is just your own karmas. You created it, you self-created it. You can of course remove it also through sadhana and things like that. There's nothing that cannot be remedied. But what I would say is that Rahu and Ardra is definitely, we have to understand the nature of Ardra Nakshatra. Ardra is actually very close to the Sirius star, which we talked about in space. I think that's an important thing. In fact, Ardra is also control a lot of social media, a lot of writing, a lot of traveling. Ardra is dogs. You'll find dogs becoming very popular. In fact, you see, dogs becoming in commercials and stuff like that. That kind of thing will become more.
Oh yes.
You'll see a lot of things with dogs. A lot of people will actually adopt dogs. That can also happen. A lot of things with dogs can happen. I've seen that. Rahu and Ardra again. It's a great time to worship Shiva. Listen to Rudram every day. Listen to Shiva mantras every day. In fact, Ardra is also a great time when that there is this poison in the throat. That's one thing. So some poison, something that has been extremely difficult for you, you will end up speaking that. There is the actual poison that might be ended up speaking. It's almost like the storm that is calming the earth down. You're going through a hot phase in life. Suddenly a storm happens. When storm is happening, is thunder, lightning, all that. And then the rain happens and everything is calm after the rain is over. So some kind of storms will definitely play out for sure.
Right.
If you have planets there, corresponding storms will play out. You have sun there, in your own personal self, your identity, you will begin to experience storms. You have moon there, your emotional storms will happen. You will cry a lot to the point where you'll understand this is the actual truth. You'll understand that in a very pure fashion, as in a raw fashion. You'll even say that you have Mars there, you will be you'll understand what it actually truly means to be courageous. So you'll actually begin to say what needs to be said in a very strong manner. You'll actually learn that in a harsh way because it's Mars, but you'll actually understand it in a deep fashion to the point where you will actually develop courage after that. That's the key thing. Rahu, the job of Rahu is literally to chop the head off the thing or whatever planet is there, chop your head on that planet. And then out of that, you will become immortal after that. That's what Rahu does, say Rahu is going over Jupiter, you'll be studying, some kind of interesting studies will happen. You'll be reading great books, you'll be taking a lot of classes online, stuff like that can happen.
Right.
Rahu or Venus, of course, a lot of interest in relationships can happen at that point. Now one important thing with Venus and Rahu is that because Rahu is Rahu, and we have to remember the deity of Ardra Nakshatra is actually Rudra. It is Shiva. One thing I've seen is that with Shiva, right? You have to remember that Shiva is like a yogi. He's not even though he's portrayed as a domesticated man, he's truly a yogi who is roaming the Himalayas.
Yes.
That's what his thing is. He's having the Nandi as the cow. He's around Bhutaganas and stuff like that. So a lot of friendship can happen with completely different kind of people. You might make friends with completely different caste people, completely different foreigners. You'll be talking different languages. You'll be traveling to different foreign lands. People who are planning to pursue higher education and study languages, this is an excellent time. If you wanted to study French, Spanish, this is the perfect time to do that. So Shiva himself was doing that, and also Shiva was the one who drank the poison of the halal poison, of the Samudra Mandal. So this is an actual time to begin a very long-term kind of thing. That's the way I would say. You have to remember the Samudra Mandal was a long thing, but the first thing that happened was, Shiva drinking the poison. One of the first acts in that entire process. So the first was Shiva drank the poison. Then after that, many blessings will come. So right now is a great time to destroy all the negativity in your life. That's the easiest way I can say that. Yeah. Say you have bad friends. Say you have bad smoking habit. Say you have bad habit of weed, smoking weed, drugs, alcohol. All that. Jupiter will also enter it, which will actually help you in, you'll actually get some good intelligent advice from good people around, good gurus around. You'll be actually able to remove all that. You can actually remove that. And to the point where, I'll say, when Rahu is in Ardra, you have to, one thing I'll always say is that watch out for your emails getting hacked. That's one thing I will say.
Oh, Sandeep, I'm sorry to interrupt you. This I have just recently seen. There was one client.
Yeah.
He got really worried about his bank statements, this and that online. Later, we got to know that his email got hacked.
Yeah.
And it just happened when Rahu entered Ardra. So it is bang on, yes.
Yeah, so, a lot of email, it's a great time for hackers for sure, right? But it's a great time for technology in general because hackers will feel completely that. And you have to remember a lot of disruptive kind of technology will come forth. I would say that a lot of progress will happen in the AI, all that kind of thing. IT people will be having a great time. Technology people will be having a great time. A lot of things with the mobile phone is also going to happen in a big way. A lot of new mobile phones, a lot of technology will come. In fact, it's very interesting. If you look at the new iPhone, it's having 3 cameras.
Yes.
It's very interesting to think about that. Yes. So it's a lot of interesting kind of features will come. One definite thing I will also say, some fundamental understanding about time will begin to come forth also, because Rudra is the actual deity of Kal, of time itself. So Shiva, Shiva is a lot of time. So a lot of understand. You'll see like a lot of science fiction movies around time as well. You'll see. In fact, I think you were the one, Amanji, who showed Tom Cruise had a lot of planets in
yes.
Ardra, right? Some planets
Swati, Radha, Shatabisha. It was all about prominent Rahu, yes.
Right. In fact, he had a great movie. I think we talked about that. He made a movie in which he was being born again and again. That kind of thing.
Right.
So that's one thing. Now,
yes.
Now, Rahu and Ardra definitely is a great time period for people who are going to study about aliens and all that kind of thing.
Oh yes.
I really wouldn't be surprised about that. In fact, when Rahu was in Ardra, that the actual US government admitted that there was some UFO kind of objects which they actually dealt with and stuff like that. That kind of thing was also coming forward during that time. In fact, I do think that Rahu and Ardra will also be a very important time, and a lot of young people will become very prominent in terms of actually becoming like a revolutionary or actually propagating revolutionary kind of ideas and stuff like that. A lot of youth will become very much rebellious and things like that. That kind of thing will also become very important. It's a great time period for a lot of medias and stuff like that. A lot of disruptive kind of medias will happen. I do think that Rahu and Ardra will also be a great time. One thing I can definitely say, 100% say, the easiest remedy is to connect with the Rudraksh. It's the easiest thing. So you can buy a Rudraksh. You can get either the water mukhi that is corresponding to a moon nakshatra, the easiest thing. In fact, say you have water planet in, the Ardra Nakshatra, you can get that mukhi Rudraksh and come with that also. Usually the traditional thing they only say is that, to wear the Rudraksh of the moon nakshatra. But I have seen that other mukhis, if the planet of that is also there, that also works. The other thing I would also say is that this is a great time period to worship Shiva anyway. Say you are in India, like in India or close to a temple, go to a Shiva temple and start pouring water over Shiva. Easiest remedy is that, especially on a moon and Ardra day. Easiest remedy. In fact, with Rahu, I can say if you can get coconut water and pour coconut water over Shiva, that is the best thing because Rahu itself is coconut water.
Coconut, yes.
And Shiva is supposed to like coconut water more. Like tender coconut water more also. That is one more thing I've seen. And just do that and do that every Monday, do that on Thursday, do that on the planetary day, which is sitting in Ardra Nakshatra. Do that on Saturday if nothing happens because Rahu is controlled Saturn. So if you just do that itself, whatever problems you have with Ardra, that can be gone. Second thing I would say is that you can listen to Rudra Mantra on a daily basis. That can calm many things down. I've recommend that to clients who have planets there. They haven't got house for a long time, nothing happened. But then they started listening to Rudra Mantra daily. Completely, they just got a house and all that kind of thing happened.
Wow.
Simply because they were connecting with Rudra's energy there. They're calming them down. The other thing I would also say is that with Rahu and Ardra, again, feeding dogs is great. I would say that actually feed the dogs first and then have the food yourself if you have a pet dog. That's the easier remedy there.
Yeah.
The other thing, one thing also with Rahu is that
what about crows, sir? What about
crows? Also, crows also help. Crows will help indirectly, but crows will also help for sure. Definitely on Saturday, if you do it, it will definitely help. Nothing like that. No issues on that front. I would say that usually the Rahu, right? It's an important time to get rid of mobile phones and old electronic devices that are not working, that are being, that's getting stuck. Those are the stuck energies in your home. You think about what is the poison in your life. Think about the poisonous objects in your own home. Get rid of that. The other thing also I'll say is to clean the cobwebs in your home. That's a big thing for me. I've seen that. If you clean the cobwebs, especially if you're in India and stuff, right? Cobwebs will come very quickly. So if you clean the spider webs in your home, the top and stuff like that itself can prevent Rahu kind of energies from coming in your way. That's one thing also I'll say. Usually, I will say it's a great time period to study anything you have been wanting to study. Say you wanted to study AI, you wanted to study, coding, programming. You wanted to start writing, blogging. Say old people, it's a good time to get a mobile phone and actually study how to use a smartphone. That kind of thing. Easy time to get into Facebook and study all that kind of thing. I've seen social media will become very important during this time. Social media will become very prominent. But social media companies will have problems also. Like Facebook is having problems. That kind of thing. You will see that also. At least the blessing is that with Ketu and Mula, and especially from November onwards, any pilgrimage you do, especially to the older temples, older, church, older, whether you go to like distant pilgrimages, the best time to do pilgrimages is when Jupiter is in Sagittarius, 100%. The blessings you will get when Jupiter is in Sagittarius and you go to the pilgrimage there, right? That will last for a really long time. So any kind of pilgrimages you do when Jupiter is in Sagittarius is the best thing ever. There is nothing that can be compared with that.
Especially and it is also sitting with Ketu and planet like Saturn, Viragya.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I would say that during this time when Jupiter is in Sagittarius is when I would say a lot of new universities kind of thing will happen. There'll be a lot of shift in the banking kind of thing happening also. I don't think it will be a good time initially, at least when the eclipse is happening. You know, there'll be some kind of banking kind of problems. Good chance for that. I
Right.
wouldn't be surprised by that at all. But then once the eclipse goes over and Saturn leaves into Capricorn, then there will be some kind of improvement happening, in my opinion. You know,
Right.
but still there'll be some kind of banking kind of problems. You know, I would say like a lot more interest in like other kind of currencies, all that Bitcoin and all that, right?
Right.
It will only continue to increase. That kind of technologies continue to increase. A lot more. I would even say that universities, a lot of different ideologies will begin. A lot more gurus will come forth. A lot more books will come forth. You know, a lot of it's a great time to begin any kind of serious spiritual study. It's a great time to say you have been on the fence about continuing with the spiritual guru and studying something, right? Studying something long term.
Right.
Great time for that, you know, right now. And Jupiter moves into Sagittarius, you know.
Right.
And then, especially Ketu being there, right? It is great to do pilgrimages that your ancestors used to do. Say your dadi or dada would go to some particular temple or some particular gurudwara, some particular gurudwara even, you know, especially gurudwaras, I would say.
Yes.
It's a great time period to go there, exactly there, do some kind of seva there, at least until February, and then come out there, help the poor people there, do some kind of donation thing there, you know, that kind of thing, and then come out, and then just like you know, then you'll see a lot of things change. It's the easiest, best time to do that, you know, because when Jupiter is there, Ketu is there, Saturn is there, best time to do any kind of seva, in a gurudwara, any kind of seva in a temple, anything extra you give to a temple, this is the best time for that. It will last for generations. You can remove a lot of karmas. Now, with something I'll also say is that it will be great for teachers and great time for students also. Definitely for a great time for media personnel is also going to happen with Rahu and Ardra also. But with Ketu and Mula, I will say the Shakti Peeths, all the Peeths, like you know, especially Shakti Peeths, visiting the Shakti Peeths are very, very powerful when Ketu is in Mula. And when that is happening, that is extremely powerful. Visiting the, you know, Shakti Peeths are very energetic kind of Peeths, you know, where Shakti's energies are present. So similarly, going to like very old churches, old temples, very old ancient goddess energetic shrines are very, very powerful in Mula. Mula, you will see a lot of people are interested in gardening. You can find some lot of interest in like actually connecting with the herbs and stuff like that.
Right.
Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, stuff like that.
This, sir, I would really like to mention because not many people are aware that even Rudra is also related to healing.
Yes, exactly.
And what I'm seeing since Rahu entered Aradhara, a lot of people, especially if it is transiting the 6th house, if Gemini is their 6th house, lot of out of nowhere they got the healing done.
Yes,
that's also I'm seeing. And even for my own self, out of nowhere, I got into naturopathy, this pathy, all herb related things. So it is working bang on because not many people relate that Rudra is also a form of healing as well. And I have also mentioned in my Ardra Nakshatra video that wherever the Rudra or wherever the Rahu in Ardra or wherever the Gemini is sign, it is in their chart, regardless if they have sun, moon or any planet in Ardra, self-transformation going to happen in the next 1 year. Something related to that house going to transform. And if you have focal planets or if you have ascendant in Ardra, you can expect a lot more intensity in that, just like you have mentioned.
Yeah, even Amanji, I will even add that if you have Rahu in anywhere from, I would say like anywhere from Pisces through, Virgo. If you have Rahu in Pisces through Virgo kind of portion, you'll find that any signs, doesn't matter. You'll find Ardra Nakshatra energies will become very important for you, 100%. Because some kind of change, transformation will happen for you, no matter what. You can make your natal Rahu as the ascendant. Look at where Ardra is going. That's exactly how that energy of Rahu will play out. That particular house way. You will see a lot of, so if it's like, say, Rahu is in, Taurus for you, you will find financial kind of transformation, financial kind of thing, a lot of talk with exchange with family going on, that kind of thing is happening, in a Mercurial Gemini fashion. Rahu in Aries, it's happening third house, again, communication, writing, media, blogging, all that kind of thing will happen. Rahu being in Pisces, fourth house kind of events you will see happening. like very strongly you will see like home, vehicles, all that kind of thing. Even you can do that similarly
Right.
with the other signs also. What house the transiting Rahu is with respect to natal Rahu, especially
Right.
now that Rahu is in Ardra Nakshatra, it will be very strong. But what I would say is that you'll find, especially if you have planets in, I would say um, even like all the way from Libra to Satabhisha Nakshatra, right?
Right.
Like backwards, so from Swati backwards through Ardha to then Satabhisha Nakshatra. Anywhere if you have Rahu there, you'll find it very Ardha Nakshatra is one way how that Rahu energy will try to balance itself.
Right.
So that's a yeah. Go ahead.
Because we also have to see that Rahu transiting its own abode is looking at all the Eri nakshatra of himself as well, of Swati and Shatabisha. So what I'm seeing, the kind of news is I'm getting lot of company mergers are also happening.
Yes.
Because that's where we are not focusing. So a lot of big companies are merging. Again, related to trade, the Gemini sign, house partnership, lot of mergers, and a lot of company, even though before they were not a big companies, they are getting into a limelight and influencing a lot of people with the effect of Shatabisha.
Yes.
Influencing into masses. So that also I'm noticing.
Yes, for sure. Rahu and Ardra will actually bring out more yogis into this world. That is the way I would say. They would. People are gonna start doing extremely futuristic yoga practices. They'll be doing extremely specific sadhanas. They'll start continuing with all kinds of alien religion right now. There'll be people. This will be like a Guatemalan guy studying about Tibetan yoga, or a Sri Lankan guy studying about I don't know, Native American philosophy or something like that. That kind of variation, all that kind of variation, alien studies kind of thing can.
Oh yeah, big time, big time.
I've seen that. One definite thing with Rahu and Ardha is that you can expect very strong cold time. The winter can become very cold this time.
Oh yes, I can feel that in my city. Yes.
Yeah,
it's
so
already
it will become much. So it will become very strong, not just global warming, like, of course, that is having its own thing. But you'll also see a lot more, with Rahu and Ardra, you'll also see like, it will be great for dogs. Though. Like, for sure, you'll see that. I just have to say that again. Because if you don't have a dog, continue dogs, that's all great. You'll find a lot of healing happening through dogs. So say you're lonely, get a dog, You'll feel that complete your life will completely change right now if you go for a dog. Say you have a big problem in your life, get another dog. Start feeding dogs, start taking care of that. You find that dogs can actually heal. In fact, there was an interesting study. They were saying that dogs can actually find out if a person has cancer or not, and that makes perfect sense from a nakshatra perspective. Because Rahu is in Ardra. Ardra is ruled by Ardra is actually having a dog as the animal, and Rahu is also the planet connected with Cancer also. In fact, that's the other thing also. I would say that it's a great time period. You'll see a lot of breakthroughs in cancer kind of treatment and stuff like that also. Again, Rahu being in Ardra, But one thing I will also say, it's a very great time to heal a lot of ancestral karma. So it's a very, especially Ketu being in Mula, whenever that happens, and Rahu being in Ardra, when it's a great time period to actually send some energies to your ancestors. I would say, like doing a tarpan ritual you can do a small 5 to 10 minute tarpan ritual every day. There's a great video by P.V.R. Narasimha Rao on his YouTube channel. There's a 3-5 minute video. You just invoke the rishis, the devas, the rivers, and then you just chant some mantras and you pour water. It's a basically 2-3 minute thing. To do that every day for the Pitris, that's a very easiest way to calm down a lot of energies on that.
Wow.
We have to remember because, if you make Ketu as the ascendant, Mula Nakshatra will have, at one point, the fourth part of Mula will actually have Hasta Nakshatra in the 10th house with respect to, Ketu. So any kind of water-based ritual, right, that will help in calming down that kind of energies also of your ancestors specifically,
right?
So especially with your hands, you do it something with your hands, you're doing some seva with your hands, things like that. That kind of thing is a very easy way to calm down a lot of energy, especially if you start pouring water over Shivling. That is the best remedy. That's the best, 100%, that's the best. You will find a lot of people getting into Shiva worship right now. You find a lot of things there.
And also, sir, I'm seeing a lot of people going and visiting Kal Bhairav Mandir also. That also I'm listening now.
Yeah, for sure. Kal Bhairav mantra will be great. For Shiva worship, usually chanting Om Namah Shivaya mantra is the easiest thing.
Right.
You can chant it how much ever times you want.
Right.
Of course, I would say with Ardra, one thing I would say is that especially along Shiva's worship, there is a Pradosh Vrat that they do typically for Shiva's worship. That's also something that can be done. Fasting on these Pradosha days, that's also one more thing I can recommend. In fact, with Shiva worship also, especially Gemini, you can do this writing kind of practice, writing jap, like, people do
Likit
Likita japa,
japa.
they call it.
Yes,
Yeah.
likit
This is
japa.
a great, so say you don't like to chant or whatever, people actually write it down. And that
Right.
also works. I've seen that also working. But key thing I will say is that you will expect a lot of technological kind of revolutions about to happen. I
Oh,
think a lot
yeah.
of secrets will also come out. So like Satabisha and Trine. So a lot of deep secrets will also come out. A lot of mergers, as you mentioned, will happen. A lot of people will start traveling to foreign lands.
Yes.
A lot of people will finally be experiencing that foreign language kind of thing, foreign friend kind of thing. They'll actually start being problems with neighbors will happen. Is one thing I will say.
Yes.
Some
Yes.
kind of problem with neighbors will happen.
Yes.
One more thing I'll say is that Rahu is also connected with wasps and bees and stuff like that, with insects also. So say you have a planet there, one big wasp is coming as we're talking. Guess what? Rahu is just strong with
Right.
you. That kind of thing also I'll say. So it's like you'll expect a lot more those kind of things, those kind of topics to become
And I
stronger.
was also, sir, reading, I think just when Rahu entered Aradra in my Aradra Nakshatra video, that was the day iPhone was launched. And
Yeah.
Apple says it was the most sophisticated phone until now.
Yeah.
Also, I was reading NASA declared when Rahu entered Aradra, after the major headline was they want to make a permanent lunar base,
Yep.
which was a very big thing to say. They want to have
Yep.
a permanent lunar base. And
Yep.
they stated that when Rahu entered Aradra.
Yep.
So many countries like China, Japan, they all wanted to send their spaceships to moon now.
Yep.
So when people, why I wanted to bring this topic was because whenever people talk about Rahu in Ardra and Ketu in Mula, they think that there's some kind of destruction going to happen. Okay, that
Yep.
is there. But what are the other aspects? No, not
Yes.
many people are talking about that. Just like you have spoken about the mergers, healing, going to the masses, hacking. That is also
Yep.
there. So we
Yep.
have to think about that part too.
Yeah, for sure, Amanji. I will say that a lot of blessings will be there will coming in form of technology. A lot of interest in space sciences will definitely increase.
Yes.
Meteorological sciences will increase. All that, of course, a lot of great astronomers will pick up
Oh, they are
astronomy right
already
now.
having a very good time in
Yeah, of
Rahu and
course.
Ardra.
Yeah, Rahu and Ardra for sure. They'll enjoy that for sure, 100%. All that. A lot of great teachers will also come forth during this time forth. A lot of teachers, teaching activities will come forth. I would even say that Rahu and Ardra is also a great time period for you have to remember Jupiter will be aspecting most of the time when Rahu is in Ardra,
Yes.
especially from November also. It's
Yes.
a great time to connect with gurus and stuff like that also.
Right.
Like 100%. Like go like read books about gurus. Read blog articles about gurus. Or if you are inspired, write blog articles about your own gurus and stuff like that.
Right.
You'll see a lot of people will take up blogging, a lot more writing will happen. A lot more new media will happen, a lot of a lot of TV serials will be launched during this time. In
Right.
fact, I would be surprised if some time-bending, futuristic science fiction kind of serials are actually coming forth. In fact, it was interesting. I read in some chat somewhere that I think the movie Gemini is coming when Rahu's in Ardra.
Oh,
Like
wow.
Gemini starring Will Smith. Now it makes sense. He's actually dealing with a clone. There's actually another TV series in which that guy is dealing with his own clone. Which makes perfect sense with Rahu being in Gemini and being in Ardra, that kind of thing.
Now, so
So
many
that,
things are coming out. And I remember I was reading a chart 2 weeks back. She has Jupiter in Aradra in the ninth house. And now she's attracting a lot of speakers, motivational speakers from the other cultures. And which totally makes sense.
yes,
Foreign
yes,
people.
yes, for sure. One more thing I'll say during Rahu, at least definitely the energies are intense. Ardra energies, we had to understand certain nakshatras, like I mentioned in the Tikshna Nakshatra video, which I made with you, Amanji, before. It will be intense, no doubt. Of course, intense. Some intensity will require you to cry. In fact, there's an actual. I was reading about this technique. Say you are planted on Ardra. If you cry for a stranger just 5 minutes every day, that planet will be healed completely. Like, in fact, it's very interesting that one guy was saying that um, it's a different alien kind of, it's a Kabbalistic kind of technique in which they actually say there's a gate of tears, to connect with God. That's what they say, a gate of tears. Now you look at Ardra, Ardra, that's immediate,
teardrop,
right? Immediately. So the symbol of Ardra is teardrop, And what this guy was saying was that, this teacher was saying was that, this guy couldn't sell his $1.8 million house for like 2 years, and he wanted to, move to a different portion and, settle and get married and things like that. But his house was getting stuck and he couldn't do anything. And then this teacher actually told him to cry for complete strangers for 5 minutes every day. And that's all they had to do. And he did that. And within 3 weeks, the house got sold. Within 3 weeks, the house got sold. And in fact, what was interesting was that it immediately made sense. So that guy must have had some planet in Ardra and doing that. It's a great thing. But very important thing is that, of course, if you feel your problems are very strong for you right now, especially if Rahul and others, start crying for someone else, some stranger, who might actually heal you in a big way. You'll realize that, okay, fine, there are actual blessings in your life also. Sure, you have problems. Sure, there are much more blessings also. You'll start to count your blessings also, whatever you have, And then when you actually cry for a stranger, you'll feel blessed also that you are actually helping in, calming that kind of energy also, that thing. One, I've seen Rahu and Ardra definitely, definitely a lot more mass shooters, all that kind of thing is definitely there. Of course, they are having their own karma and all that for sure. That kind of thing can happen. But say you are feeling depressed and you have a planet in Ardra and you are experiencing the heavy side of this energy. Start doing this exact simple thing which I was saying. Look at some dog videos or cat videos and start crying, so some cruelty. You'll find that it will actually heal in some kind of, you'll find that portion healing in a big way, So like this act of compassion for someone else will begin to activate that further, Of course, I'm not saying that you should cry and go and attack someone and kill someone.
Exactly.
That's not the point. Of course, you have to use that in a healing way within that particular context also, very important. But yeah,
and also, sir, one thing you have mentioned very beautifully, which I really want the viewers to dig deep on that. Just like you have mentioned to the healing part, which is very important. Siblings, what I'm seeing is a lot of sibling issues coming out when Rahu is transiting the natural third house. And also spousal issues also, because Rahu is aspecting the natural seventh house. So what I want to tell the viewers is to control their anger, to just like Lord Shiva has tolerated the halahal in his throat and used it for the higher cause. That's what I'm telling the people nearby me or the people who consult me. So do you agree with the same thing, sir?
Yes, 100%. Of course, we have to remember planets in Ardra natives, they have karma to scream and howl, just like Shiva at Rudra. Rudra had to scream and howl before he got his own name. So they will go through a phase in life they might have to scream and howl. Of course, and sometime when there is true injustice, it's fine to scream and howl. But sure, it doesn't mean that all injustice is actually injustice. It could be some karma clearing out for you. Then what do you do then? You kind of have to be peace with that also. You have to accept that this is the halal you have to carry for some time. There's definitely value in that. And definitely we had to understand with Ardra. I've seen most of the people with Ardra, the intense side, these are natives will cut their hands forward. They'll just like get a knife, get a blade, will start cutting their hands because they can't handle that kind of energy. But what I would even say is that if you don't fall into that kind of dark side of Ardra, you have an actual opportunity to find a diamond within you, because the symbol of Ardra is actually a diamond. If you allow that pressure to break down that core, transform that pressure into an actual opportunity for spiritual progress, then you can literally become like Shiva.
Yeah.
You can literally become very close to Shiva's energy. You can bring about a lot of Shiva's energy into this earth plane. I mean, it's a lot of blessings will come on that one. One simplest thing again, Amanji, I just have to say this is that simply start. Easiest thing anyone can do, especially if you're in India, is go to a Shiva temple and start pouring water over Shivling during this entire time. And this
Wow.
blessing will last for the next 18 years if you do this thing. Just go to a Shiva temple, start pouring water over Shivling. If say you are in the US, you at least go on Saturdays and do it, or on Mondays and do it. Easiest thing is that. See, even that is also not available. At least on once a month, go when your moon nakshatra is going. On that exact day, go to Shiva temple and start pouring over Shiva. Especially if you pour tender coconut water, that is the best. You can buy that from supermarket in the health food section and all that. In the US, or Canada, or whatever, so you can actually buy that. Offering that on a Saturday is the best solution for Rahu and Ardra. Of course, you can also wear this Rudraksh, that is definitely there. You can buy that Rudraksh corresponding, that can also be done. You can use that Rudraksh, hold it in your hand and chant Shiva's mantras. You can use Rudraksh Mala to do the Shiva chanting. All that variation, of course, is there. In fact, one suggestion I can also say is to make use of rain's energies. You can listen to the sound of rain. That can actually calm you down.
Yes.
And in fact, this is a big symbol again. I've seen that with Ardra many times. They love rains.
Yes.
When rains is happening, they are like, it's calming them down in a way. So listen to the sound of rains. Connect with rain. Walk in the rain, when it's actually happening. In fact, there is a lot of secrets in rain itself. A lot of secrets in rain, The scent of that rain falling on the earth, right? That's a special scent. They said that scent itself is carrying blessing of Shiva. That's why that scent is such refreshing, very fragrant.
Yeah, I remember you were mentioning me too. Yeah.
Yeah, even if you can buy that. It's called petrichor. It's that scent itself is called petrichor. You can buy that scent.
Wow.
You can buy that scent as a perfume. Use that. And I've seen that, people who use that, they actually get blessings. Like they make money out of nowhere. It's actually like Shiva's helping them out of nowhere. You can actually buy that scent. That was what actually I was surprised. And
a lot of people are going to ask us, is it available on Amazon?
Yeah, of course, you can buy that. You can exactly buy this petrichor, Petrichor. You can buy that online. And you can use that scent. In fact, one other remedy which Dr. Pai said, especially for people in the Gulf and Arabian countries, is to burn incense, burn the Arabian perfume called oud, Arabian incense sticks.
Right.
Called oud, O-U-D-H. You can buy that, burn that. That's an excellent remedy for Ardra. You can use a different kind of incense sticks, different kind of incense smells. That is a healing. There's a lot of things with incense also that can be done. Wow. That is definitely, you can buy Nakshatra incense sticks, use that for healing. You can buy all kinds of other incense sticks and use that for healing. One thing I would say is that use the good smoke in the life, not the actual cigarette smoking, but look at like burn frankincense, burn sage, burn the dhoop in your house. Do that every day. That kind of thing is very healing for Rahu and Ardra. Say you have any, again, I have to say with Rahu and Ardra, continue with Shiva is great. Continue with Hanuman is also better. Hanuman is falling in trine, or opposite to it is Mula also. You can also, a lot of great astrologers will come during this time. If you pick up astrology right now, then you are getting direct blessings of Shiva and the goddess of Mula herself. That kind of thing is coming right now.
Right.
That's a great, and I've seen that Rahu and Ardra is very extremely futuristic. They are far ahead of their times in many ways. So because it's Shiva himself, right? Shiva is a lot of time itself. So they're very futuristic. These are the natives will be more excited about alien movies and science fiction and things like that more. In fact, they'll have dreams about aliens. That kind of thing I've seen also.
Also, sir, I also want to tell the viewers, just like you have mentioned, that people who are dealing with a lot of drug issues, alcohol, cigarettes, smoking, this is the best time to get rid of that as well.
Yes, 100%. Best time. You can't get a better time than this. Start going to Shiva temple. Start using positive smokes instead of cigarette smoking. Simply, you'll begin to recognize a lot of blessings can come. In fact, Rahu, if you see, just one more thing I've seen, Amanji, is that if if one family is having alcohol or addiction issues, right? Whether it be cigarette, whether it be alcohol,
A lot of families. Yeah.
Lord, if there is those addiction issues, what the reason for that is that at some point their ancestors were worshipping some particular goddess, especially like a goddess like Kali. Goddess like because Rahu is Kali or Durga, or they worshipped some kind of Shiva,
Rudras.
some kind of Rudras, Kal Bhairav or some kind of Bhairav. At some point they worship it, whatever it means. Could be like some kind of in foreign lands, it might in Eastern Europe, it might be certain kind of saints, some female saints or female nuns or glorified saints or glorified nuns. Could be like in Africa, it might be certain kind of goddess, gods. In South America, it might be again certain kind of temples, certain kind of Mother Mary versions or something like that.
Right.
Could be that in North America, it could be something, some kind of specific kind of thing. So anything like that. One of the big reason why Rahu is worshiping alcohol is that at some point the ancestors knew this knowledge of dealing with these kind of energies themselves. At some point that knowledge transfer got cut off. How to deal with these Rahu energies, and then if you don't have that, if you say you had high level of you are handling big amount of energies like Shiva daily, right? And then you forgot to you are not doing the yogic practices around that, like which is doing Raj Yoga, which is doing the tapas, you are doing mantra chanting and stuff like that. And naturally that Shiva energies will degrade itself into like actual Rahu energies. Like actual the lower form of Rahu energy, which is addictions, drugs, alcohols, and stuff like that. That's why you actually in Indian temple you actually offer alcohol to Rudra himself. In many Kal Bhairav temples you actually offer alcohol to that, and this is the exact thing. At some point the ancestors were doing this alcohol to Rudra. That at some point again in the family lineage that Rudra started missing out and started to drink alcohol.
Right.
That's what actually happened. And then the families are having drug addiction issues. But this right now is a golden opportunity to actually seek the blessing of Shiva to get rid of all addiction conditions. There is a great mantra called as Vaidyanath Ashtakam. It says that if you chant this Ashtakam 3 times every day, then can heal any kind of problems.
And I think that was the mantra Dr. Pai mentioned me. If you do it in a Likhat Japa, it's very powerful for the healing.
Yeah, for sure. Vaidyanath Ashtakam, it's just 8 lines, 8 sets of lines. Do it 3 times, 24 lines. So if you do that, no kind of problems will happen.
Right.
Yeah, but Amanji, this is a great, I would say this Ardra is a great time period to connect with Shiva, think about the energies you want to get rid of your life, think about the challenges you can, and it's actually called as the star of success. So I think that success, as you mentioned, Amanji, this personal transformation will actually play out in a big way.
Big way.
For sure.
Yeah, especially for the Scorpio ascendant, because Ardra falls in the 8th house.
Yes, for sure. So Scorpio ascendant, even Cancer ascendants, they'll have to face a lot of, kind of things. Even 6th house people with Cancer, with Capricorn ascendant also, they'll be facing a lot of discipline routine.
With the Cancer ascendant, sir, what I'm listening is few Cancer ascendant people I know, they suddenly out of nowhere says that we want to go away from our house and go away somewhere in the isolation. And they don't know anything about astrology, but as we know a little bit, it totally makes sense why they suddenly want to isolate now.
Yes, for sure. They want to become like Shiva. They want to roam the Himalayas. In fact, this is a great time period to go to Himalayas and mountains and stuff like that. Great time period. Great time period to start going to hiking. Great time period to connect with a dog when you're hiking. All that.
And I remember, sir, in one of the videos with the Pai Team you have mentioned, as Ketu is in, I think Purvashada. No, I think it was Dr. Pai or it was you. As Ketu is in Purvashada, very good time to visit a temple where there are monkeys and elephants and water.
Yes.
You remember that video? I think it was you.
Yes, for sure. I think it was Dr. Pai was the one I think mentioned. Temples with monkeys for sure, elephants for sure, rivers also for sure. Anything with the rivers. Like there are in Ireland and UK, there are places where they get very blessed rivers, spiritual water, that kind of thing. So getting the spiritual water is very good time right now. Anything kind of spiritual. In fact, there is this miracle water. You say that in France there is this church called Lourdes Church. You can buy this water there. Which is supposed to heal. I had a client from France who actually said that she At one point, her health was so bad that she had to end up using this water. And she actually had a planet in P.Ashada, And the
Wow.
other teams in P.Ashada was also playing out. So those kind of things is very great. I've seen that working. Those kind
It's a
of things.
crucial time for Gemini and Sagittarius people. Ascendant.
Yes, for sure. If you are a Sagittarius person, you will face eclipse energies. That's the first thing. This Christmas will be intense time period for you.
Yes.
No doubt about that. It will be intense. You can't describe it any other way.
Yes.
But it will also provide you a great opportunity, and you will suddenly there'll be a before and after phase for you. As they say, before Christ and after Christ.
Yes.
That kind of thing is actually going to happen to Sagittarius people. But it will be a great blessing in many ways. In many ways, you will see a lot of your life will change for good because it's all karma in the end. You'll be able to release a lot of karmas. You'll be able to burn through a lot of karmas also in a big way. Rahu and Ardra, as I mentioned in the beginning, Amanji, yogis are waiting for this transfer. They are actually waiting so that they can channelize these energies, they can do the practices, and they can actually worship Shiva in a deep way. And then they can literally become one with Shiva during this. This is the best time period to do that. You won't get any better time than that.
And I can also say one thing, people can expect to make the long journeys in the trains, as trains is also associated with the Ardra.
Yes.
So 100%. Instead of flying,
100%.
you might prefer trains.
Yes, for sure. Rahu and trains, Ardra for sure, no doubt about that. Long journeys by cars, with bikes, you'll see a lot of biker kind of gangs and biker kind of issues kind of coming up. In fact, I had a problem with a friend who was saying biker gangs were blocking entry to his home, and there was some problem with bikers and stuff. A lot of people take biking, not just like cycling. They'll also start buying motorcycles and they'll be into that kind of thing also more. That kind of biking will also become more right now. We'll even say like, I've seen that, now definitely there is this Rahu is having a criminal element there also, as I mentioned.
Yes.
Especially the shadow side. Yes. It's very important if you have a planet in Ardra to recognize that you will be carrying Shiva energy. You will be like the yogi, But then there will be other Bhutaganas around you who are literally no good to you. You will literally have to isolate them. You have to recognize them, be discriminant of them, Like, are these friends actually uplifting you or are they bringing you down? That's an actual thing, because Shiva is going to be always attracting people. The energy of Shiva will be attracting Bhutaganas or like ghosts and ghouls in the Himalayas.
Yeah,
Shiva is Shiva.
Yeah, because one has to be aware, especially students or kids who are going to the school or colleges. A lot of bullying can happen in this period.
Bullying, yes, for sure.
So you have to make sure that, just like Sandeep sir has just mentioned, that you have to make sure that what is good for you, what is not, and you have to channelize your energy in the same way. Yes.
Yes, of course, for sure. You will have to recognize, okay, is this worth my time? Am I getting something out of it? It's not worth my time. Sure, I'm having fun or whatever. But what is this long-term effects? What is the 18-year effect of this particular action I'm doing? Right. Just think about that, and you will see that if you use these energies, it's a great time period because you can get blessings of Shiva. As I mentioned, there are people who use this rain fragrance to make money, literally. That kind of thing, So I'm being honest here. I know people.
I'm amazed. I'm amazed.
Yeah, because you actually get blessings of Shiva with rains, So you actually get blessings of Shiva if you connect with Shiva also. And Shiva is the only deity who doesn't care. Like if you worship him anytime, he doesn't. In fact, you're supposed to give the leftover things to Shiva. That's what they say. You don't give the first food to Shiva. You give the last food to Shiva. One, of course, Rahu is also connected with AC and all that, air conditioning, all that kind of thing. A lot of electrical kind of problems can happen. You can expect electrical kind of grids to have issues more, that kind of thing, I would even say
can we say where it rains very often or a lot, especially the number one city which comes to my mind in India is Tirupati. So
right.
Ardra is very much active there. Can we say that?
Yes, for sure. 100%.
Because same 100%. Goes with Vancouver, because there are certain months where out of 20 days it rains.
Yes, of course. 100%. Even like the great mountain peaks, the top of the mountains are also very important Ardra places.
Or the rainforest area or the wild forest area.
Yes, 100%. Like the jungle area, all the jungles really. In fact, you'll find a lot of people becoming vegetarians now. A lot of people want to kill animals and all that.
Yes.
That will also happen now.
Especially if it's your second lord. Yes.
For sure. The second lord, sixth house, all that. You'll see that also. You'll see a lot of people actually fighting for animals. That kind of thing will also happen.
Right.
You'll also see like a lot of importance given to, given to like new ways of communication, to be frank. Like you haven't talked with someone for a long time, you'll be talking now and clearing the air, as they call it. That kind of thing will happen now. I've seen definitely Punwasu was a time when you connect with old friends. Ardra is a time when you'll literally be meeting yourself in the other person in a big way. But yeah, Ardra is you'll see all the other things for sure. We have to remember that Ardra is a great time period for our own transformation. Most importantly, look at the situation in front of you, use that, and how you can channelize that for your own transformation. You'll see that that's an actual opportunity there. With Ardra, again, as I mentioned, you can become a diamond here. A diamond is a big thing, Amanji. I think I mentioned this when I was talking to you in big way. Like in your Buddhist yogic techniques and stuff like that, you find the concept of Vajra body in a big way. You'll find the actual Vajra and a Buddhism kind of thing. And Vajra is actually diamond. So a lot more people will be developing interest in the Buddhist kind of philosophies for sure. A lot of Buddhist people will be happening. All that will definitely be happening. So yeah.
This is a kind of a topic on which one can speak for forever. So many things to see,
Yeah,
so
for
many
sure.
things to predict, because some people love predicting, and so that's why I really wanted to take your intake at what we can expect when Rahu is in our Ardra and Ketu is in P.Ashada, or it will go in Mula, because I always keep a very good eye, very good watch on Rahu Ketu axis, because these are the axes where the most of the karmic dance gonna happen.
Yes.
And Ardra is just like we have spoke about in the last 40 minutes. It's not all about demolitions, destruction. It is also about destroying the destruction within you.
Yes, exactly.
Which you have
exactly
mentioned.
Exactly. So, sir, in fact, I would say like you'll see a lot of people talking about snake dreams. That's the last thing I will say.
Yes.
Because Rahu and Ketu are also snakes, So it's the fun last thing.
Oh, yes.
In fact, say you have a snake dream, you can pray Shiva's mantras, you can pray Garda mantras and all that. So that's the other thing also.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Sir, it is always a pleasure to have you. And I feel very lucky that I know I do bother you a lot to keep coming on my channel. And it's amazing to learn from you. And such a big pleasure for all of us. It's not only for me. It's so many emails, just like I have mentioned in the previous videos as well, that people wanted to learn from the Pai team. They wanted to learn from Dr. Santhip Kanholy ji, and of you coming here on my channel and teaching us all. I don't have words to express.
No, Amanji, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Just whatever comes in the moment, I just share that. It's the same thing. Usually, Rahu, they say there are 3 octaves. That's what Dr. Pai taught.
Shri Kala Hasti.
Kala Hasti, right? So you have that, first you have the snake, then you have the spider, then you have the elephant. The same thing, you can just begin to consider those opportunities in other worlds. It's the simplest thing. Yes. But yeah, great, Amanji. I think this is great. We can, as you mentioned, we can talk on forever,
For yes, on this, I think I might publish this video first as compared to the other videos, because
more people are interested.
The amount of emails I have gotten on the transit videos, just like I have mentioned, I don't do transit videos, but I am always interested to talk about Rahu Ketu Nakshatra transits. What one can expect, and there is a lot to expect as compared to the other 7 planets.
Yes, for sure. Definitely.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, Amanji. Thank you.
Thank you. We will all see you again very soon.
Sure, Amanji.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Yeah, namaste.